With the completion of the Horseshoe Curve, industrial development happened very quickly across the region. At the heart of the PRR's initiative was the first maintenance shops located along what is now modern-day 12th Street in Altoona. With news of the Pensy's new operation in Altoona spreading, workers came from across the state looking for opportunities to make better lives for themselves and their families. Their efforts would eventually gain the attention of the entire world.
So with the Pennsylvania Railroad setting up shop here in Altoona, you have the inflow of workers. So with them, they bring their families, and then with the expansions gradually over time, you see shop worker numbers go from 1,500 to 3,500 to 5,000. And it only keeps growing. So with a growing workforce, you have a growing city. And at its height in the 1920s, you have 17,000 Pennsylvania Railroad employees alone in Altoona. And across the whole system by the 1920s, the Pennsylvania Railroad would have had about 250,000 employees, which of course would have been their height. So Altoona made up a pretty good percentage of that. So now you have the railroad industry, you have its workers here in Altoona, which allows other industries to grow and allow the city to continue growing in numbers to the point to where Altoona probably would have been considered a major city. So when you look at aerial photos or even drawings, paintings of the Pennsylvania Railroad shops in Altoona, even from its early days up to its peak, it would have spanned from Juniata to South Altoona, a span of 17 miles. You would have seen a vast shop where you have the construction of steam locomotives, you have the repair of steam locomotives, you have the construction of freight cars, you have the repair of freight cars, and you have the repair of passenger cars. But it was more than that. You had the blacksmith shops that allowed the forgery of the metals. You have the tire shops, you have the larger metal foundries. Everything that was needed to operate, to build a railroad would have been found here in Altoona. And to the point to where it was so vast that it would have became the largest railroad shop complex in the world. Mostly everything for the Pennsylvania Railroad would have been constructed here. And then you also have the scientific research that would have been done here in the field of railroading.
So initially in the early days of testing, they would have just simply brought in the existing motive power that they had. So the smaller engines would have been on a static treadmill, where they would have just tested from an analysis perspective, not an innovation perspective. And what they did by doing so was establish baseline. So of course there are many different types of steam locomotives designed for passenger use or freight use, designed for long haul or regional short hauls. So they would have said, okay, we're going to test this one particular type, get the analytics from it, and then start seeing where are the efficiencies, where are the inefficiencies, and take it apart component by component and say if we look at making an improvement to one aspect and then seeing the ripple effect in terms of overall performance.
And Altoona at one point had 3 roundhouses, 2 in Juniata alone. So that alone shows the sheer size of the operation of railroading here in Altoona, to the point to where people over in Europe would have come over and went through the shops and seen these shops firsthand. So Altoona really became a railroad city with the largest railroad shops and would have been known worldwide.